if you want to know what Diwali is, if you want to know, what sort of foods surround Diwali and what have you, joining me now is Sujita Din, who's a healthy Diwali treats person. She's going to show us. Sujita, first, give us an explanation of what Diwali is.
Hi, Trisha. Thank you so much for having me here with you, and wishing everybody happy Diwali if you do celebrate Diwali. So Diwali is the festival of lights. It's celebrated by Indians all over the world. It's a time we come together and we are, in a community. We meet up for meals. It's a time really for prayer, but also for connecting with others as well. So the celebrations don't just happen on the day. They begin, for some people, maybe a week, 2 weeks before, and they continue even afterwards. So it's a little bit like, Christmas for us who celebrate it. And it is really a time of just spending quality time together. Sending cards or sending gifts is a very big part of it. And of course, the food. There's always something.
I was going to say the food. The food. And if you've got a sweet tooth, Diwali is absolutely the celebration for you. What sort of foods are eaten, and how can you kind of lower the temptress in all of us?
So we have all kinds of foods. I mean, we will be eating, regular meals. But it becomes a time when many people want to have more of the sweet foods or the fried foods. And, it might be having snacks, or it might be having desserts. It might be having, something mid-morning or mid-afternoon. So it could be, popular things that many people have heard about, like gulab jamun or ras malai. It could be having samosas or pakoras. So there's so many different choices of snacks. And what I wanted to do is talk about, so the reason the book you just shared is my healthy treats recipe book, is actually to say, you can still enjoy your traditional foods, but if you're going to have something more frequently, why not just make some swaps and make it healthier?
Absolutely. So just give me an example of something that you can make healthier.
Okay, so we have carrot halwa, gajar halwa, and it's often served as dessert. If it's made traditionally, it may have ghee in it. It will have a lot of sugar added into it as well. And then, it's made usually with cow's milk as well. So it means it needs to be eaten fairly quickly because it is going to go off as well, sooner. So instead of making it the traditional way, you can just make some swaps. So still using the carrots, that's the key ingredient over here, being carrot halwa. But I would suggest, using, instead of white sugar, could you be using, raw sugar or brown sugar or coconut sugar? Or if you didn't want to use sugar, use some dried fruit to sweeten it. And just try and reduce the amount of sugar you're having. So don't put in as much as maybe the recipe requires. Just reduce the sugar or the dried fruit. And you don't need to put both the dried fruit and the sweetener in. Just choose one, don't have both of them, and then just taste it and see if you need to add some a little bit later on as well. Often also ghee is used, and yes, it does give it a nice, rich taste. But, you could reduce the ghee, but in my recipe, I don't even use any ghee when making it. So it's just sort of, cooking the carrots, cooking them in a dairy-free milk. So it'll last a little bit longer, which means it's not sitting in the fridge and you don't think it's going to go to waste, because often we end up eating foods just because they're sitting there and we think, I don't want to waste it. So we become the human dust. Just having the food because it's sitting there. So just by making it with dairy-free milk, it lasts a little bit longer. And then you can just put in some nuts and some saffron to give it some flavor as well. And cardamom, cinnamon powder. So just different things to add flavor rather than just, the sugar, or having, something high in fat to give it the flavor. So we can use many different types of things to give foods flavor.
So let's just show people the book. So if you're interested in starting or trying or finding a healthier way to cook those Diwali treats, Sujata's Healthy Diwali Treats Recipe Book. There it is, 11 delicious recipes made with real nutritious whole foods. So there is a way to celebrate and celebrate your health as well as Diwali. Thank you so much, Sujata, for that, and happy Diwali to you.
Thank you very much, Trisha, for having me. Happy Diwali to everyone.